Hello everyone, my name is Silverweed and welcome back to episode 2 of Community Counsel. So I picked out a few new topics that we're going to talk about today, and I hope that you agree with them because I thought they were very interesting. So the first one is flaming access. Okay, I'm going to say what half Squirrel Dragon players are probably thinking. I think the developers should add an area in the water like in Rise of Berg of Fort the Bewilderbeast. So what this person is saying that in Rise of Berg there is a particular place on the map where the Bewilderbeast resides. There are a few different legendary dragons, as they call them, in Rise of Berg. There is the Bewilderbeast, there is the Red Death, there is the Screaming Death, and the Forever Wing. So those are the 4 dragons I think that are in game right now, legendary dragons. I'm kind of in doubt if it's the Green Death or the Red Death, but I think it's a Green Death actually. So that's basically the idea. This dragon is part of the main map and it's out in the water. So this is what this person is suggesting, that there should be the Bewilderbeast in the water. So either we're looking at a wildebeest being in the training grounds, just further out in the water, or we're looking at it being in the open ocean map, somewhere in the water, maybe even at the school outside of the caldera in the water, in the ocean. And I think that's a good idea. That's a really cool idea that you can be in one of these maps that you normally visit a lot and you can just fly out and see the wildebeest. The only issue with this, however, is that if you're gonna have a huge moving dragon on one of these maps, which normally has a lot of traffic, they have a lot of players coming in and out through them, that is a lot of content for the game to process each time you visit that map. While it's really cool and it's something that could be amazing to do, there's still the realistic aspect of it, and having such a huge dragon on one of these maps is close to impossible, I would say, without damaging the game, the flow of the game. It will make it lag severely, I think. However, I do believe it would be possible to potentially create an entirely new map for the Bewilderbeast. Maybe the Sanctuary, which could be located out on some map surrounded by ocean. You can fly in and you can visit the Bewilderbeast. I don't know how much movement it's gonna have, but at least for it to be there. I was really happy to see the Green Death in game back when the expansion pack was released, but as we saw with that, after the quests were done, that dragon pretty much vanished. You cannot go visit it, you cannot go see it anymore, which I think it's a shame, but it is because this is a big dragon and it's too difficult for the game to process so much data for this particular dragon. And the same issue would be with the Bewilderbeast. So that's why I think it would be realistic to possibly dream of getting an entire new map for the Bewilderbeast. I think that's doable. Possibly they can do that, because the Bewilderbeast is a huge aspect of the second movie, and I really think it's something that could be completely incredible to see in game in Squirrel Dragons. You could fly around it on your small dragon or something. That's just truly extraordinary. So I think it's a really, really cool idea. Alright, then we have NL Girl Gamer. They should add the feature of switching back and forth between Titans and the normal dragons. This is something I can definitely back. Because in my example, the Skull Claw, I'm not too big of a fan of the Titan because of the way the texture looks on it. I think it's decent. I don't hate it. I don't think that I hate it because I still think it's cool. But with some of my dragons, especially my my feature Skull Claw, which I used for Sirius, I turned it into a Titan, and really I miss seeing that old dragon because the Skull Claw has such dramatic changes as it becomes a Titan. It's similar with other dragons. It's the same on Rise of Berg, which is kind of like the counterpart to this game. They're very different games, but they deal with the same kind of environment, the same How to Train Your Dragon series. You can't change back there either, so Titan is just your Titan and then that's it. But I do think it's a shame. I think the difference between Rise of Berg and Squirrel Dragons is that even if you make your dragon a Titan and you regret it, you can get another dragon relatively easy of the same species, and you can actually release the one that became the Titan and start over. It's not too big of a loss. It's still a little bit, but it's not too big of a loss. Now this is entirely different in School of Dragons because your dragon here is pretty precious. These dragons are very expensive to get, and if you actually raise it up to be an adult and get it to fly and something, it's a lot longer process, and the dragon bond is just different in the game because you have attached yourself to this dragon because you're riding it and controlling it. You can't do that in Rise of Berk, just to compare. So I think it's something that could be really useful for School of Dragons to allow you to switch between Titans and normal dragons, because I think a lot of people are missing their old dragons because you don't have any clue what the Titan looks like if you go ahead and you see there's a new Titan in game and you go ahead and make a Titan, like I do in most cases because I have to cover it on video. So if you wait a little bit, there will be pictures of it, but still it's not the same idea as actually having the dragon, so you don't really have a clue exactly of what this dragon is going to move and what it's going to look like. So I definitely think, I don't know how realistic it would be. It would probably seem more like a Pokemon that can switch between shapes, but I'm okay with that basically because the Titan thing is a pretty supernatural aspect already, so in order to be able to change would be really cool. It would be something I would appreciate very much because I do miss some of my dragons. The Titans are really cool, but from time to time I do miss how they looked in the past. Fennec Knight, School of Dragons. Dragon tricks. This would also fix a lot of the flying glitches, but you have to train your dragon to do the tricks. Also a first-person mode where you can walk and fly from your Viking's point of view. I mostly took this for the first part of it because I thought that was a really cool idea. It's something that a lot of people have been requesting for a while, that you can do tricks with your dragon and actually fly. Like we see it in the movie, some of the tricks that Hiccup does with Toothless is truly impressive, and in order to be able to do that in the game could be quite astounding. The only thing we have so far is pretty much you can fly up and you can dive and you can spin around a little bit. There is a particular flight glitch in the game which enables you to fly a bit out of the normal, out of what are you gonna call that? It's at a tilt. I would almost call it. You're kind of breaking gravity. I think I would call it that. You're breaking with the Earth's tilt, and you're flying in a different kind of control point. You're kind of bending where the base of it is. It's kind of hard to explain, but really it messes up your starting point. So if you're looking forward, you might be looking tilted with this glitch. And even that has limits, and it is a glitch, so it's not something that you really want to do too often. So for this to be a thing could be really cool. And now maybe not only flying, but also maybe just sitting with your dragon. Just sit and your dragon sits, or roll over, or whatever, like simple things, or whatever it might be. Do particular shapes with your wings or something. Tell your dragon that. And the entire idea that you have to train your dragon to do these tricks is really cool. Like there could be a particular, maybe a mini game, maybe an entire building for dragon tricks, and you could go in and you could see your tricks and which trick you want to learn, and then you will do it and you will train that trick by doing something, maybe repeating the trick or doing a course of some sort. And then when you have earned enough knowledge in that particular trick, your dragon would learn it and you could use it outside of this building. That's something I think would be really cool, especially if there was like 20 different tricks, or maybe just 5 different tricks. So you could go ahead and pick, and it would take a little time, not too much, but be decent, take a little bit of time, maybe a day or 2, depending on how many hours you play, and then you would train, and you would have to wait a little bit maybe, and you would train some more, and your dragon would be able to do this trick. That's also something that could set you apart from other players in the games, because you could make a combination of tricks or something. I think that could be really cool. Something to enforce the individualism in the game, which is cool because we color our dragons to stand out and to kind of reflect our personality. So this could be something that could help us reflect our persona and our dragon if we could do different tricks, because you could pick which trick you want to do. So I think that's really cool, and really something that could be amazing to see in School of Dragons. Now the second part of this, which is the idea of having a first-person point of view from your Viking. You can walk around, run around, and you can see everything from the eyes of your Viking. I think that's cool, It could be pretty cool to sit on your dragon and look down and you can see your dragon, you can see your own legs riding that dragon. I think it's something that could be relatively simple to do for the developers because you basically just scroll in and then just have the camera go through your Viking's head so it sits right there, and then you can still tilt it and you can look around. I don't think it's too demanding to make something like this. And it's something that could be pretty cool also to kind of enhance the realism of it if you want to do that, switch back and forth. I personally don't mind. I personally prefer third-person games where you can see your character and you control it rather than being inside of the character. But I think it's something that could be a really cool option as well, to actually be in your Viking and to be your Viking. Also, when you talk to other Vikings, you would see them straight ahead of you because you would be on that level talking to them. So that's cool. I think that's really cool. So that's all I want to talk about today for this episode of Community Counsel. I kind of want to keep on a few topics that we can digest and then, add some more. If you have new suggestions, please leave them in the comment section and I'll be sure to check them out. There are a lot of great ones down there, and I'll do my best to pick the ones that are most popular that people want to see too. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. So long, fellow riders!